Alright guys, welcome to the no skill build for Remnant 2. The goal for this build is to keep the archetype skill effects up the entire fight. Alright, so we start with the Spirit Wisp Amulet. Activating a mod reduces current skill cooldowns by 3% for every 300 mod power spent. This is so both mods can add to the skill cooldown and not just the one. Next we've got the Sapphire Dreamstone. Critical hits reduce the skill cooldown every 2 seconds. This is massive with the Nano Swarm mod ability, because the swarms seems to have a high chance to crit. I see the red pop up all the time when I use it, and they damage like so often that you're always triggering the 4% every 2 seconds. I couple this with the feedback mutator on the Nebula, and that roughly gets me 2/3 of the mod power back after the charge is finished. So that's, you can just keep popping it. A good segue from this, from using the Nebula, is the Stone of Malevolence. Because the Nebula Nano Swarm and the actual weapon, it does acid corrosion damage, so it feeds into the Stone of Malevolence, as well as the Monolith as well. So I'm using the Sandstorm on top with the Nebula handgun Nano Swarm. This will allow you to have constant uptime on the mods and skills as long as you're constantly doing elemental damage. I use the Spellweaver mutator or the Monolith gun. It basically, every time I use the Sandstorm on the Monolith, I get 50% of the charge back on my skills as long as they're on cooldown. So I've got in the habit of always using the skills first, obviously, and then applying the Sandstorm after it. This doesn't work for skills that are like charging, like Living Will. So once Living Will comes off charging and starts cooldown, then it'll start to apply. The Spellweaver just adds mod damage and generation. So it's always good to use the Monolith Sandstorm after you use the skill. The next 2 slots of rings after that is actually optional. I'm not joking, that's all you need to get the skill cooldown build to get going. But what I normally use is the Black Cat ring to prevent like one-shots, and the Catalog skill. So that replenishes mod power between fights. Otherwise you'll have like half of it full. If you go into the next fight, it's harder to get it up and going if you're just beginning the fight with no mod charges. Now the archetypes I primary is the Alchemist for the extra concoctions, the Xenoplasm and the Sanguine Vapor are the bee's knees. With the constant mod damage on multiple enemies, even if you're stunned or staggered, you'll still be bringing in constant heals, even if you're laying on your back. This is so you don't need to dodge, because dodging is, it's so last year, 2023. The Living Will regeneration on top of Lifesteal, as well as constant regeneration from Full Heart. Like, these are optional as well, you don't have to use these, but I like to use them for the constant regeneration. So yeah, because if you're not damaging with your mod abilities, you're not getting the lifesteal. Some enemies disappear, so if you're not hitting them, you're not getting the maximum lifesteal. So I like to have a bit of regeneration from another source just to keep your health bar full. A good test, I mean, I've tested this build, but just to see how crazy it is, you can activate Living Will and you'll actually see the icon still on after it's finished charging, and you'll get living will back by using these mods before it runs out. So you'll constantly have living will, which will resurrect you if you go down. Yeah, the other concoctions are up to you as well, based on how you want to play. I've tried bottled shadeberry for the extra mod power, but I didn't feel like it needed it. Like, I don't actually use it. What I prefer is to use the extra pool, like the larger pool of health, mud suits concoction, and the armor bonus because I'm using heavy armor. But yeah, any way you want to play is up to you. Like, if you want to be more tanky like I am, that's how I tank more hits. And finally, the Invoker. Yeah, the DLC weapons as well as the Invoker. It needs to be nerfed. It's just way too powerful. Like, for this build, it's just mind-numbingly easy. Yeah, I'm calling the Forgotten Kingdom DLCs pay to win, because it's just it's a cakewalk once you've got everything. Way of Quailer is yeah, it's so broken. The area effect, the tidal wave you don't even need to use. It's the area effect on it. I use the amplitude trait with this ability, so it magnifies it. It just hits everything through walls, upstairs. Like, it doesn't matter where, as long as you spawn, they die. So yeah, and you get, because it does overload shock damage, it's feeding into your stone and malevolence as well. So yeah, you just got 3 constant streams of replenishing your mod power. You're just constantly using mod generation and just icing it at the same time. Just crazy. They need nerf it, just nerf Way of Queller. Like, you don't even need the haste on top of it. It's just nuts. Yeah, you don't need to fire your weapon at all. You just need your mod ability, that's it. But you know, if you get bored, you can always fire your weapon. I run with the Krellax just for the long shots, like if they're really out of range, because these weapons don't have any range. But then again, you don't really need to use the weapons, but Krellax is good. It also adds mod generation with overload. And yeah, I use it with Tainted Blade. It's corroded, so more generation, just more malevolence. Yeah, and the Lido gear, just for high, to stop DPS, just high armor. And yeah, I use the bark extract concoction and the fortify trait on top of it, just so you're more tanky. Yeah, we don't dodge. You don't need to dodge with this. It's that good. And finally, I'll list the trait lines that I think you'll always need to run with this build. Okay, to start off with, the Gifted, Spirit, Expertise, Amplitude, and finally Siphoner. I feel like they're just musts. I mean, the Spirit and Expertise is pretty explanatory, so is Amplitude. The Siphoner with the concoction gives 5% base damage as lifesteal. The rest of the build that I think is what I personally use, but you can play however you want, is Fortify, Potency, Regrowth, Triage, Vigor, and Bloodstream. I've used Chakra, but my reasoning for not using it is that it's less time in getting your skill cooldown. So, because it doesn't help to get your skills back quicker, because it's 30%. So, because their charge ability is 30% longer, means you're not activating them quicker. So it's less cooldown for your skills. So to reiterate, Fortify to be extra tanky, Regrowth for another constant heal stream, same with Bloodstream. And for Triage, it's to solidify the amount of heals that's coming in. Figured it'd benefit from all that healing, as well as being safeguarded with armor. The one relic fragment that I feel is non-negotiable is the speed cooldown. The other two I use the healing effectiveness and the extra health to be more tanky again. I'd normally mix and match based on the type of relic I'm using. So for example, preventative health relic, like a shielded heart, I'd take the heal effectiveness off and replace it with shield amount relic. And then I'd replace I wouldn't use the bark extract, I'd replace it with Mudsuit's extra HP, extra health, because more health means greater shield capacity. Yeah, that's basically it. Enjoy.
At least that's over.
over?